Opening night at the Clinton area Showboat Theater, Young Frankenstein. We've got Reese in. She's going to be, of course, in the production, and a pleasure to have Teaque Matty Miller in studio with us. What have you been up to lately?
Well, there was this global pandemic. No, I'm just kidding. So it's been, I was artistic director through 2019 here in Clinton, and then COVID shut things down for a while. I've got two little kids at home. So my last season on the boat in 2019 was actually when we found out that we were pregnant with my youngest, which means my daughter is 5 now, and my son is 3. My daughter, Mattingly Drew Miller, who we sang to many a times at a Follies on the Showboat, she's entering kindergarten in the fall, which is bananas, and my son is starting preschool. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind. I'm a musical theater professor at California State University, Chico, where Jamie and I live, and so we've been trying to survive some wild times, and it's really fun to be back into my artistic home, if you will.
So you got the whole family with you?
No. Unfortunately, I mean, it's so busy being in production. Last time I came into town, I directed Always Patsy Cline season before last. We did bring the whole family, and juggling everything, it was like I never really saw them except when I got home late at night after rehearsal. So this time we thought we would try me coming out on my own. I will say that I am horribly homesick. I miss my children an awful lot. Yeah, they had a dentist appointment yesterday, and I found out that Mattingly's tooth was loose. It's the first loose tooth, and I almost started crying. I miss them so much. So it's just me this time, and I head back to California tomorrow.
All right, well, we'll catch up with you a little bit later on here, but let's talk to Reese. Reese, bring that microphone over a little bit. I know you're in theater and you project very well, but it's always nice to talk into the microphone as well. So let's find out a little bit about yourself. First of all, what's your last name?
My name is Reese Henrick.
Okay.
I'm from Houston, Texas, and I am a current music theater student at Baldwin Wallace University in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, now growing up, did you feel this was going to be the career path you wanted to go?
Actually, surprisingly not. I wanted to be a lawyer really bad. I don't know if that's just because I love to argue, but it ended up hitting me around end of middle school, and I decided on it maybe sophomore year of high school.
Okay, and did your high school offer a pretty good fine arts program?
Not quite. I wouldn't go that far,
Okay.
but that being said, I had a lot of outsourcing that I could do. I was very close to the city, so there's a lot of great programs in the Houston area, and I was grateful to be a part of those.
So selecting a college, talk about that process.
I've actually done it twice. I did the college audition process 2 times. The first time I applied to 19 schools, and I ended up attending Marymount Manhattan College in New York City for a year as an acting student. And it wasn't really for me. I wanted more music in my curriculum, and outsourcing in the city is a lot more expensive than outsourcing at home was. So I decided to do the college audition process again, and I got into, I had a lot of better results, I would say, and I decided on Baldwin Wallace. It felt like the place for me.
Which is an incredible school.
It is. I mean, at Baldwin Wallace, there's been a lot of actor and actresses at Timberlake as well as here at the Clinton area Showboat Theater. Talk a little bit about your school.
So I am a musical theater coordinator at California State University, Chico. It's a BFA musical theater program. We're the only BFA musical theater program in Northern California. So if you're a student in California looking for a place to study where you can actually pay in-state tuition, it's a heck of a deal. We're relatively new BFA. We've had a musical theater program for about 25 years, but we transferred to this BFA model a couple of years ago. And, we're really starting to get known as one of the most inclusive programs in the country. That's really been our focus as we've been moving forward, because there are a lot of programs, and we think it's important for everybody to have their own niche, and that's really where we found it. I teach a lot of the musical theater classes, musical theater performance, musical theater history, that kind of thing, and then we've got an incredible faculty that supports our students in all the other areas of musical theater as well.
Reese, tell us a little bit about Baldwin Wallace, the curriculum and the program, what you're able to do there.
Yeah, absolutely. Baldwin Wallace is a Bachelor's of Music structure, which, again, the BFA BFA is the typical structure for a music theater degree, but bachelor's in music essentially means a music focus. So we'll have all of the courses that a BFA would require, dance, acting, etc., but there's extra music courses in order to fulfill the requirements of the degree, given keyboard classes, solfege, multiple music theory classes for every year of college. And I find that music has always been a huge part of my life. I think it's one of my main focuses. And when I saw how Baldwin Wallace's curriculum was laid out, I was immediately drawn to it, especially because I was lacking so much of that in my previous college experience.
So where are you at in your college career right now?
I'm currently an incoming sophomore.
Okay.
So I will be a sophomore in the 2023-2024 year.
And she is amazing, by the way.
Okay.
She's super funny, a great comedian, incredible singer. It's interesting to hear her say that she hasn't had a ton of music prior to Baldwin Wallace because she's a star, this one.
Okay, so people are going to want to see Young Frankenstein. Tell us a little bit about what they're going to see on stage and from you.
Absolutely. The story of Young Frankenstein basically revolves around the grandson of Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein. And
Frankenstein.
Exactly. So he is embarrassed of his name because of what his grandfather had done with his experiments. And he ends up lying about the pronunciation of his name, but towards the end of the show, he goes through some zany, fun, kooky even adventures in order to bring a monster to life as his grandfather did, because he finds his lab work and decides that it could work.
So now, how do you play into helping him decide this?
So my character is his fiancée. She's very, what's the word? Stubborn is definitely one of them. Crass. She's not the kindest lady to him. And she's basically extremely rich. But Elizabeth, her character arc is somebody who is not a people person finding solace in another person.
Okay.
In the original film, that was Madeline Kahn, right?
Okay, yes. Yeah, great role.
Yes.
Lost her way too soon. So now, what other productions are we going to see you in this summer, Reese?
I will be here for the whole season minus Murder for Two, but I will be ensemble in Cinderella, and I am also ensemble and Mrs. Puff in SpongeBob the Musical.
I know in doing a lot of these interviews, of course, Dave Vickers used to do the one with Clinton area Showboat Theater. I would handle the Timber Lake Playhouse, and visiting with the actors through the years, they talk about this as being a boot camp, really learning theater. Are you starting to realize that?
Absolutely. It is definitely a grueling process, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It really, really, truly equips you for what your career will be once you're out of school. I genuinely think the fast pace of it all is a great, great, great tool in my toolbox.
And Maddie, maybe you can address this a little bit better. Talk about that as a director with some experience, having seen actors go through summers for the first time or second or third time. What do you see in that?
Well, I think at the Clinton area Showboat Theater in my time, and then currently I think with JK as the executive producer, there really is a focus on community so that we can build trust amongst each other, because you cannot survive this schedule and this environment if you don't have a certain level of safety and comfort in being able to make strong choices and fast. Maybe they're the wrong choices, but no choice is going to take a long time to coach the actors out of. So students, sorry, I keep saying students because I actually have a couple students here this summer, but actors really are thrown to the fire and have to go big or go home.
Okay, well, J.K. I like that. J.K. I like that. We'll bring J.K. and J.K. Davis. So, of course, the summer is just getting underway. We wrapped up Leading Ladies. That was kind of different because you had to take a little bit of a break. But how did that go?
Leading Ladies was great. I saw you there one night, right? As you were coming out the ramp. You seemed to like it, so I think it went well.
Okay.
But yeah, that was great. Featured lovely songs that were arranged by Mr. Miller too, and featured Reese as well. And that went well. We did have to take the hiatus for the Tall Gates Tail Boys thing, but we're back. We are ready to show you guys what Young Frankenstein is all about. If you haven't seen the movie, if you have seen the movie, it's great. It's got, as Maddie said a little earlier today, it's got all the same good old jokes that are in the movie, but also a few new ones sprinkled in because we're doing a little different version of the original musical, which is the West End version, and they did that in London back in the early teens of 2020.
Okay.
So yeah.
So June 15th through the 25th, opening night tonight, 242-6760. Make that call. 11 a.m., right, is when the box office opens?
Yep. Or we're open 24 hours online.
Oh, there you go. You can always do that. Reese, again, thank you so much for coming in. Enjoy your summer here in Clinton. I hope it goes well for you when you get back to school.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And Maddie, we're going to see you back in Clinton again?
Well, that's up to powers above me. I mean, I'm not the boss anymore, so I don't get to hire directors. But I sure have had a good time coming back into town, connecting with so many awesome people, visiting all my favorite local places. It really has been a treat. So,
and with that being said, you did get a chance to catch up with Dave.
I did. I saw Dave at, we had a cup of coffee at 392 the other day, which is another one of my favorite spots. So, yeah, it's been great to be back in town, and we'll see what the future holds.
All right. Hey, thank you all so much for coming in today. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Conservative governor and business